Caring for a parakeet can sometimes put your feathers in a ruffle, but don't peek out yet. There's plenty of tips and information coming up to help both you and your feathered friends get along well together. Hello, and welcome to this video on parakeet birding basics. Parakeets, also known as budgies, are among the smaller versions of the parrot world, and making sure that their daily needs are taken care of can seem a little intimidating. But with a little bit of luck and some patience, you and your budgie buddy can become the best of friends. One problem is that there is so much information out there available on how to care for a pet bird that a new owner can easily become overwhelmed on where to go or what books to choose. While books can't always match the experiences of caring for your chirping chum, they are a good source of information to turn to refresh yourself on how to help care for your budgie buddy. Let's start with the basics. First, you're going to need a suitable home for your new parakeet. Now, a lot of the pet stores will have a small cage for your little bird. They'll give you the animal in a little box. I know I have my bird from a PetSmart, and it just had one of the little box containers that they came in, but I bought the cage too, of course. Now, the cage is a small cage. As you can see here, there's a small portion of it. It basically was a travel size cage. I also purchased a dome top habitat cage. It's a pretty big one for a single budgie. It's 21 inches in width, 25 inches in diameter, 30 inches in height, and basically it's more than enough space for the bird. And what you're going to be looking for is something that's probably minimal, 2 feet by 2 feet by 2 feet. Your bird's going to most likely be clipped on its wings when you first get it from the pet store. But it's up to you to decide whether or not you want the bird's wings to continue to be clipped or if you want the birds to be able to eventually fly. Now, either way, you're going to need some space because when that bird starts growing, the bird's going to need to be able to spread its wings out. So, minimal what you want is you want your bird to be able to sit on the perch and spread its wings out so that it can flap them and preen them and anything else it needs to do, especially when it's starting to grow, because if you get a bird from a pet store and it starts growing its wings, it's going to be trying those wings out, and it's going to start doing that inside its cage. It doesn't matter how comfortable it is with your environment, it's going to want its environment first, and it sees its environment as the cage. So a small cage is nice, a bigger cage is better. It's really up to your decision, but the more the merrier. Now, let's talk food. Well, parakeets do something called hulling their seed, H-U-L-L. It means that they take the skin off the outside of the seed before eating it. That normally drops back into the dish or on the bottom of the cage. So it looks like that you might have more seed in the cage than you think, or maybe the food dish is full. Actually, that's probably just the empty skin of the seeds, and that's just how parakeets eat food. Now, they need a large variety of grain and millet seeds. Millet is actually one of their favorite things to eat. It's kind of like grains for them, but for a bird like a parakeet, it's like pizza for a human. The Association of Avian Veterinarians, the AAV, actually recommends about 50% cooked beans, whole wheat bread, cooked rice, pasta, and seed, 45% fresh broccoli, carrots, yams, spinach, dandelion greens, other fruits and veggies, and maybe 5% eggs and tuna packed in water, and occasionally some very well cooked meat. It's really up to you, but the important thing is to learn what works for your parakeet and what does not. You don't want to ever give them avocado, for example, because it's fatal to parakeets. My parakeet personally is a seed bird right now. It's hard to get him to come onto corn and broccoli, but I used to have a parakeet that would just go crazy for both of them. Whenever I take corn out of the can or corn on the cob, he would absolutely have to have some. I wouldn't even have to put it in his dish. I could just take a small plate, peel a few of the kernels off, and put those with the bird, and they'd be gone within a couple of minutes. But if you ever put the millet stick up, you know that's gone with a couple of minutes as well. Well, that's it for this brief 5-minute basics on parakeets and how to take care of them. Of course, there's a whole lot more out there available through Google and through books. I recommend your local library or just doing a Google search.